The Senate will come to order. The Secretary will call the roll.
Senator Buck. Senator Cannizzaro. Senator Daley. Senator Doñate. Senator Dondero-Loop. Senator Flores. Senator Goycochea. Senator Hammond. Senator Hansen. Senator Harris. Senator Krasner. Senator Lang. Senator Neal. Senator Wynn. Senator Orenshaw. Senator Pizzina. Senator Scheibel. Senator Sievers-Gansert. Senator Spearman. Senator Stone. Senator Titus.
Thank you. Let the record reflect there are 21 senators present. Please rise for the prayer by Pastor Ken Haskins of the First Christian Church of Carson City and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our Heavenly Father, you are light, and in you there is no darkness. Shine your light of truth, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom upon these senators. Help these servants of yours to make good and wise decisions to the benefit of all Nevadans. I pray in the name of the one who is the light of the world, even Jesus. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order of business number 3, reading and approval of the journal. By previous order of the Senate, the reading of the journal is dispensed with, and the President and Secretary are authorized to make the necessary corrections and additions. Order of business 4, reports of committees.
Mr. President, your Committee on Finance, to which was referred Assembly Bill Number 152, has had the same under consideration and begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation do pass. Signed, Marilyn Dondero-Loop, Chair. End of reports.
Thank you. Order of business number 6, messages from the Assembly.
Assembly Chamber, Carson City, March 2nd, 2023. To the Honorable the Senate, I have the honor to inform your honorable body that the Assembly on this day passed Assembly Bill Number 165. Signed, Carol Aiello-Sala, Assistant Chief Clerk of the Assembly. End of messages.
Thank you. Order of business number 8, waivers and exemptions.
Notice of exemption, March 6th, 2023. The Fiscal Analysis Division, pursuant to Joint Standing Rule 14.6, has determined the eligibility for exemption of Senate Bill Number 140. Signed, Wayne Thorley, Fiscal Analysis Division. End of notices.
Thank you. Order of business 9, motions, resolutions, and notices.
Senate Joint Resolution 3, introduced by Natural Resources, urges the United States Bureau of Reclamation to consider certain actions, alternatives, and measures for the protection and management of the Colorado River. End of resolution.
Thank you. Senator Pizzina.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Joint Resolution 3 be referred to the Committee on Natural Resources.
Thank you. Senator Pizzina has referred Senate Joint Resolution number 3 to the Committee on Natural Resources. Are there any objections to the referral? If not, so ordered.
Senator Harris has approved the addition of Senator Orenshaw as a primary sponsor of Senate Bill 142. Senator Orenshaw has approved the addition of Senator Stone as a co-sponsor of Senate Bill 194. Senator Wynn has approved the addition of Senator Pizzina as a co-sponsor of Senate Bill Number 195. End of order of business 9.
Thank you. Order of business 10, introduction, first reading, and reference.
Senate Bill 213, introduced by Government Affairs, revises provisions relating to taxes on transient launching. End of bill.
Senator Flores.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Bill 213 be referred to the Hardworking Committee on Government Affairs.
Senator Flores has referred SB 213 to the Government Affairs Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill 214, introduced by Government Affairs, revises provisions relating to governmental administration. End of bill.
Senator Flores.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Bill 214 be referred to the Committee on Education.
Senator Flores has referred SB 214 to the Education Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill 215, introduced by Legislative Operations and Elections, revises provisions relating to mechanical voting machines and mechanical recording devices. End of bill.
Senator Orenshaw.
Thank you, President. I move that Senate Bill 215 be referred to the Industrious Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections.
Thank you. Senator Orenshaw has referred SB 215 to the Legislative Operations and Elections Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill 216, introduced by Legislative Operations and Elections, establishes provisions relating to elections. End of bill.
Senator Orenshaw.
Thank you, President. I move that Senate Bill 216 be referred to the Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections.
Senator Orenshaw has referred SB 216 to the Legislative and Operations Elections Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill 217, introduced by Finance, makes a supplemental appropriation to the Office of the State Treasurer for an unanticipated shortfall related to travel expenses. End of bill.
Senator Dondero Loop.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Bill 217 be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Senator Dondero Loop has referred SB 217 to the Finance Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill 218, introduced by Committee on Finance, makes an appropriation to the Department of Veteran Services for the Adopted Vet Dental Program. End of bill.
Thank you. Senator Dondero Loop.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Bill 218 be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Senator Dondero Loop has referred SB 218 to the Finance Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill 219, introduced by Senators Krasner, Flores, Severs-Gansert, Spearman, Orenshaw, and Lang, makes an appropriation to Special Olympics of Nevada to establish the organization as an independent nonprofit entity and expand its program in this state. End of bill.
Senator Krasner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that SB 219 be referred to your Committee on Finance.
Senator Krasner has referred SB 219 to the Finance Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill 220, introduced by Senators Severs-Gansert, et cetera, and Assemblyman Hafen, et cetera, revises provisions relating to the Nevada Educational Choice Scholarship Program. End of bill.
Senator Severs-Gansert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Bill 220 be referred to the Committee on Education. Thank you.
Senator Severs-Gansert has referred SB 220 to the Education Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill 221, introduced by Senator Donate, revises provisions relating to Medicaid. End of bill.
Senator Donate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we refer Senate Bill 221 to the Committee on Health and Human Services.
Senator Donate has referred SB 221 to the Health and Human Services Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill 222, introduced by Senators Harris, Daly, Donate, Flores, Orenshaw, Pazina, and Scheibel, revises provisions relating to juries. End of bill.
Senator Harris.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Bill 222 be referred to the Committee on Judiciary.
Thank you. Senator Harris has referred SB 222 to the Judiciary Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
Assembly Bill 165, introduced by Assemblywoman Howdegi, revises provisions governing payments for a permanent partial disability. End of bill.
Senator Lang.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we refer AB 165 to the Committee on Commerce and Labor.
Senator Lang has referred AB 165 to the Commerce and Labor Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
That concludes Order of Business 10 and the business of the desk for this legislative day.
Very good. Thank you. Order of Business 16, remarks from the floor, introduction of guests. Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, I wanted to bring the Senate's attention a very, very serious matter in my district. In my district is the Duck Valley Indian Reservation. You know, we talk a lot about underprivileged and underserved minority communities, and this one fits every one of those things to an absolute T. In their school, they have a carcinogenic plume, they're calling it, in which the health of the children in the school is literally threatened. Assemblywoman Hanson and I were up there a couple of months ago and scoped the school out a little bit. And not only is there a serious health issue for the Indian kids in this school, the school itself is badly dilapidated. The fixtures and stuff in the bathrooms are 1950s, the exact same stuff they had when they built it way back when. And the problem is the school is designed for about 500 kids. It's now shrunk down into the 300s because the Indian parents there are taking their kids out of the school because of this health factor. The reason I'm bringing it to this body is it's a very complex thing for financing. You got the Bureau of Indian Affairs, you've got the tribe, the Elko School District, the state of Nevada, the federal government, and all of them have some finger in the pie. In addition, there are some philanthropic organizations that have offered to help in this situation. The bottom line is the school needs to be replaced completely. It's in a very dangerous location. Unfortunately, it's in Oahe, Nevada, which is 100 miles north of Elko, and it's 100 miles south of Mountain Home, Idaho, and it's in a very, very remote location. The costs are very, very high to do this. I'm bringing it to your attention so everybody is aware of it because the governor's office has been working on it. The state treasurer's office has been working on it. The various committees have been looking into it, but I think because of the health factors for those children, we need to elevate that significantly. And the costs, like I said, are really high. But we have to do it. And, you know, we always talk about underprivileged, underserved minority communities. This one, in every respect, fits it. We need to do something for those kids. Again, everybody's sort of passing the finger around trying to come up with financing, but I think we as a Senate and as the Assembly, I know they're working on it very hard. Assemblywoman Hansen has a bill trying to help address this. Everybody that I know of in state government is taking a very serious look into this. My fear is, though, because of the very high costs of building a school in such an isolated, remote location, it can scare people off. But the bottom line is we need to get it done. We cannot leave these kids in this school and in this environment. And by the time we leave this session, we have to have some definite financing mechanisms in place so that those kids can have the relief that they deserve. So please, as the session progresses and you hear about the situation in Oahe and the kids there at the reservation, Duck Valley Indian Reservation, that you keep that in the back of your mind. We need to do something, and we can't push this off for a few more years. There are significant health issues involved, not to mention the fact that if your kids were going there or my grandkids were going there, we would be completely upset because this is, like I said, a dilapidated, rundown school that has been neglected, in my opinion, for decades. So just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention so everybody's kind of aware of it, because as the session goes on, that will become more and more of an issue, and trying to come up with some money, as everybody here knows, it's always a struggle, but we cannot possibly let these kids and that community down before this session ends. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Senator Severs-Gansert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today I have two guests with me, if you don't mind standing up. They're from Truckee Meadows Community College. I have Edgar Rivera and I have Wendy Solorio. And they both are recipients of the Nevada Promise Scholarship, which is last dollars when you're trying to get your education. It's the last dollars to the student to make sure that they can attend. They both went to Hug High School, the old Hug High School, and they were in the same class, in the last class that graduated from the old Hug High School. Edgar is a current Nevada Promise Scholar who received an Associate of Applied Science, or who will receive a degree in Applied Science for automation and robotics, and he hopes to get an internship next summer. And then Wendy is, again, a Nevada Promise Scholar and a Summer Bridge participant, and will receive an Associate of Applied Science in Construction and Design in this fall. She chose the field because of her love for building and the lack of representation in the industry. She hopes to influence other women with similar passions to pursue construction management. And I was letting Wendy know that my degree in engineering was really to be in construction management, and it worked out that I eventually worked for power companies, but I didn't do construction management. And there's just a great amount of demand in our state for construction management. I'm so excited that you're participating in that and leading others, and I'm wishing you both success. Everyone, please help me feel welcome. Them feel welcome.
Senator Flores.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today is Environmental Justice Day here in the legislature, and I know that there's a group of folk that have gathered outside. If you have an opportunity, I know that they're talking about important bills that impact them. I wanted to just very briefly let you know that today we have members and volunteers from the Nevada Environmental Justice Coalition, NEJC, joining us today to uplift the voices of those that are often left behind in the climate and conservation space. The NEJC was formed in 2019 with the purpose of achieving environmental justice in Nevada. The NEJC is a coalition of 14 Nevada-based organizations united in the fight for intersectional climate action and environmental justice through grassroots organizing and policy advocacy. The NEJC is working to prioritize justice in the fight to protect our state's natural resources through a social and racial equity lens, to ensure a just transition away from extractive industries and liberate frontline communities from environmental hardships. These community members from across the state of Nevada have come together in the legislature for the first ever Environmental Justice Day, and they are asking that the decision makers in this room to consider their faces throughout the legislative session. If you could please give them a warm welcome.
Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe that today, up in our gallery somewhere, is the 1A state basketball champions, the Pyramid Lake girls basketball team. And if you're up there still, excellent. Yeah, please stand. So they are here with us. So we definitely appreciate their accomplishments and contributions. But they are also here in the legislature today. They're going to be testifying in the Assembly on Assembly Bill 125 from our colleague from Assembly District number 37. And it's a bill that lets tribes notify the appropriate systems for missing and murdered Indigenous persons. And at the beginning of their championship game and today, you will see that they are dressed in traditional ribbon skirts and shirts showing awareness for murdered and missing Indigenous women. So during this game, these young women who were playing, they did so to honor some of their community members who have recently been murdered. But we appreciate their dedication not only to their community, but also to their tremendous success, and welcome them to the Senate. So if you could all join me in making them and helping them feel welcome.
Senator Pizzina.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I'm fortunate to welcome today my guests coming from Fridays for Future, working for environmental justice. We have Winona and Alina Freed, who've come here today. Please give them all a huge, warm welcome. And Alina, at 9 years old, is already here volunteering to make a better environment for the future. Thank you so much.
Senator Daley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a guest here today with us as well, Giselle Ozuna with the Progressive Leadership Alliance. If you'd make her feel welcome.
Senator Titus.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm sure that most of the folks in this room heard about the horrible tragedy that occurred over my county, Lyon, on February 24th. That evening, a fixed-wing air ambulance operated by our own care flight broke apart in midair, crashing onto the ground in rural Nevada. It was on its way from Reno to Salt Lake City, killing all 5 passengers on board. This Wednesday, March 8th, there will be a public memorial for all the victims of at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. It'll start at 2 o'clock. The memorial will be to remember the lives of Scott Walton, Ryan Watson, Ed Pricola, and Mark and Terry Rand. Members of this body, I would like to acknowledge this great tragedy and just want you to know what an incredible service CareFlight has brought to Nevada and to me both professionally and personally. Not only have I had patients flown on CareFlight, I have ridden on CareFlight, and I've had family members on CareFlight. And once, a few years ago, when I was delivering unexpectedly, an unexpected, very premature little baby in my rural hospital, CareFlight flew in graciously to take care of that little newborn infant and transport it back to Renown, where the baby did indeed survive, and I was able to take care of it years later. These kind of tragedies don't affect just one person. It doesn't affect just one community. I think it affects all of us. And I just want everybody to try to acknowledge the loss of our community and to send our prayers to the family members, REMSA Health, and those impacted by this tragedy. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Krasner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please stand. Today is TMCC Day at the Nevada Legislature, and it is my pleasure to introduce our guests from Truckee Meadows Community College. Brett Bell, paramedic student and class president. Brett is current paramedic student who recently received the Jacobs Presidential Scholar Award for his dedication to improving himself and his community. Brett is this year's paramedic student class president. I also have Anthony Ritter, TMCC Student Government Association Senator. George is a current student government senator who works in the Disability Resource Center on campus and is the vice president of the Philosophy Club. Please join me in welcoming them. Thank you.
Senator Titus.
Thank you. I apologize, Mr. President. I appreciate the opportunity. I would request that my remarks be read into our journal. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I move that the Senate stand in adjournment today in memory of the 5 lives lost from the care flight that my colleague mentioned in that accident, and that we adjourn until the hour of 11 a.m. on Tuesday, March 7th, 2023.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.